Hi guys, just a quick video. So back on, yeah. So just a quick one really. It's just the initial impression of Test Drive Limited. I keep calling it Test Driver, and it isn't Test Driver, it's Test Drive. So yeah, you'll probably see most of my videos I've posted up, are probably calling it Test Driver and not Test Drive, but it's the same thing. And yeah, but first impressions. So we played a couple of hours last night. It was a bit of a midnight stream, so we probably did. It was probably 11:30 till maybe 2ish. It was quite a late one actually. And when I'm streaming, I do play with the sound off a lot of the time. Last night I chose not to do commentary, so it was purely just the gameplay, so I could hear some of the noises. I did turn everything off, like the music, so all the music was off. So I'm not sure what the soundtrack's like. I'm gonna have to do that in slower time. But overall, the game has been all right. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with the stream at the minute, with the screen, but we'll just see if that's on. Now let's just have a look really quick. But yeah, every time I log on, it just seems to do a little bit of a. I'm not sure what that is either. So for some reason, every time I log on to it and load it up, it seems to revert the graphics back to sort of a windowed screen like that. So if we just change it back, change it like that, yeah. So what you'll probably notice the first time you've sort of playing the game, when you first load it up, the VRAM is absolutely insane. So I'm not sure what happens with the game, but basically it was, so I've got a 4070 Ti, so it's 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So yeah, it does get a bit criticised because there's not a lot of VRAM in it, but it's definitely above the recommended 8 gig for the game. And yeah, when I loaded it up, I think it was on 14 gigabytes, so it was going well past the bar. So when you go into the video, you get a bit of a bar here, basically. And a way around that is if you go onto the search bar, type test driving, go into the folder, you'll see there's a readme sort of document. If you open that up with Notepad, do a search for FPS, you can then change the FPS. I think it's set at 200 standard, so you can drop that lower. So I did that, and yeah, the VRAM seems to have fixed itself. So even now on Ultra, I'm running. Yeah, it's well below the requirement there, which is good. So yeah, I think the game's just poorly optimized. To be fair, I think it'll probably get a patch if it's not already had a patch. Yeah, so I think a patch is definitely in order. I'm not sure how the Xbox or PlayStation versions run, so we're just on PC at the minute. Unfortunately, the game was £22 on launch, and then it's gone back up to 34. So it's a little bit frustrating. I'd say it's definitely worth 22. Is it worth 34? Possibly not. It's somewhere in the middle. I'd say it's a £30 game, but it's yeah, it's. I think if people are looking at games at the minute, like with Warhammer coming out and similar games, then obviously for the money, people are going to buy Warhammer, aren't they, over this? And Motorfest, so the Crew Motorfest is on sale as well because it has just launched on the Game Pass as well. If you've got Game Pass Ultimate, I think it's £18 otherwise to buy, which is the same on CD keys as well. So yeah, so all this was all hectic yesterday. I loaded it up and I couldn't believe it, but that was the quick fix for that anyway. So we'll get straight into it. To be fair, the game is probably lacking content. I've not really played the other test driver games so much. I have played them both, 1 and 2, but I've not played them a whole lot to get invested into it. So this is a bit of a first impression of it. So yeah, so from my experience with this coming fresh, say if you've never played any test driver games, you probably wouldn't know what's missing. So you it's a nice car. There are some nice cars to be fair, but we'll head out this way. For some reason, my chat's on as well, so everyone can hear me. There we go. Yeah, so there's a few little bits with the game which are good. Hopefully you can hear me now. All right. Yeah, so I think it's working. So yeah, so there's probably quite a lot missing, and I know it seems to be quite a problem when people have played the other games, and then it's a bit like the whole Star Wars problem now. If you play the Jedi games, jump onto Outlaws, you probably find Outlaws a little bit yeah, a little bit weak in some, probably quite a lot of areas in content. But yeah, one thing straight out the bag, the cars sound so good. It's similar. It's a similar jump to how sort of Forza Horizon 5 was jumping up from 4. Absolutely love 4 more, but you can't deny the graphics and the sounds just hit the spot on 5. This takes that to, it just notches it up, this game. The sounds are so good. For some reason, the interiors are perfect. I've looked at quite a few cars and everything seems pretty spot on, to be honest. When you do the handbrake turns, everything's there. You've got the back seats, you can see handbrakes on. And if you press sort of the LB button, so like your L1 button, you get all the different commands. You can turn all your windscreen wipers on, all that sort of stuff. And if you want to, I don't know if we can we see that? Yeah, so you can turn bits on like that, which is, yeah, quite a nice effect. So if you want to play, a bit like if you're playing GTA and you go into a bit of a moment of madness and you want to play realistic, you can start indicating like that and knock it off again. I think on the same command. It'd be nice if there's shortcuts to it. I think you just do it. Has that done it? Yes, that's done it there, isn't it? We are going the wrong way as well, but out the bag, the game sounds fantastic, really good. The map is absolutely huge. I think it's smaller than some of the previous games, but I've not yet explored the whole map. But it is a 1-to-1 scale of Hong Kong, so it is absolutely huge. It's yeah, it is such a big map. I probably prefer this. I've not played Motorfest yet, but Motorfest sort of reminded me a little bit like the new Forza Horizon 5 in Mexico, sort of a little bit bland. I think that's in, trying to think where where the crew game is. I'd have to have a look. I think, is it Hawaii? I think it is, isn't it? And it just seems a little bit, yeah, a little bit bland. This map could have been the best map ever, as in the whole Tokyo Drift scene, Fast and Furious sort of thing going on. It sort of has elements to it. Some areas in the map definitely look better than others. So if I think we've got a few races here we can go on to. So yeah, I'll just show you quick before we start heading anywhere. Some of the map looks really detailed. The only problem is, yeah, you can fast travel as well, which is good. The only problem is with the game, some areas look so good. I've looked at like comparisons between like Motorfest and Test Drive, and yeah, in some areas Motorfest looks good, and then this game just blows it out the water. In the rare instance, especially at night time, I think when it's night time and you're going through some of the cities, it looks phenomenal. Phenomenal, should I say? The lights, it's sort of like the neon lights. Everything looks so good. The vibration's a bit annoying. I'm not sure how to turn it off yet. It really is a bit frustrating. But the actual map itself sort of comes to life at night. In the day, it's a little bit like the Crew feels. Sort of the Crew 1 and 2, a little bit bland. Yeah, a little bit. There's not much going on. I'm not even sure if there's any people. I can't say I've seen any people yet. I could be wrong, but there doesn't seem to be, unless I've just driven past some, but there doesn't seem to, yeah, you get a few glitches like that as well, but there doesn't seem to be any people. That was the one thing sort of in Mexico that frustrated me. The map just felt, okay, so there's a few people. Yeah, so they do exist. In small numbers, and there's a few there, so they might have patched it. When I played last night, I didn't see anyone. But yeah, the map is really good. The freeway's good. You've got sort of like your HQ areas, you can sort of change clothes, that sort of stuff. There's not a whole lot to it. And then there's some races as well. Similar to Fort, so there's it seems to have quite a lot of these zones where you can sort of go at different speeds and get different skill points, that sort of stuff, different ones. Obviously, once you progress through the game, you probably get to a point where you can probably get through most of them. But at the minute, I'm with the Mustang, it's definitely struggling a little bit. So we've got a map there. I don't think we can, because we've not been there yet. We can't fast travel, but we should be able to fast travel there. Loading screens are all right, to be fair. A little bit like now, not as quick as the Crew. So the Crew 2, not even the Crew 2, the Crew 1 was the best game. It was literally open the globe up, drop, and it just zoom in. It was so good. I'll check your stream out. Yeah, Ghost Recon. I did put on Ghost Recon. I did put a video up just for my class setup if you want to check that one out. So let's yeah. So we'll find a race here, but you can see the shadows are all right. The game, just everything's just all right. Is it £35 worth? I don't know. It's sort of in between. Probably £30. You'd probably enjoy it. It's there's probably better games. As I said, with the Crew being on Game Pass now, and sort of the season 2 coming out, this is definitely launched at the wrong time. This game should have launched 6 months ago, and it probably would have done a lot better, to be honest. But yeah, that's the problem. They always get the launches wrong, and but I don't think we've done this yet. So let's try this one here. So the AI are a little bit hectic. I'd sort of describe them as racing yourself. So if you race a bit like me, you're a bit dirty, as in you try and get on the corners and bounce off other cars, and yeah, a little bit sneaky. That's what the AI like. So they're basically, it feels like you're racing against yourself sometimes. So a little bit frustrating. I've had quite a few instances where it's taken quite a few times to even finish a race, because you end up getting wiped out and going off the course, and you can't restart. So you basically have to abandon it and then restart the race. The only thing is, it's bloody difficult. The game itself, the speed is so good. So you can probably hear it vibrating now. It really is driving me crazy. I'm sure there's an option to turn it off. But yeah, but the sensor speed, not with the Mustang, but once you sort of start the game, sort of you're in the Lamborghini, and the sensor speed's so quick. Sort of like the pull, the whole wind noise, everything just goes crazy. The pulls, sort of, it feels a bit like Fast and Furious when they're like on the bridge, Too Fast Too Furious sort of thing, where they do the nitrous and the whole screen goes mental, like blurry. That's what it feels like. Like you can feel the gear changes. As I said, the AI are absolutely awful but good at the same time. So I'm really struggling with some of the races actually. So I usually play a little bit like that, a little bit dirty, trying to overtake on corners and absolutely go crazy charging into people, but they do it back to you. That's the problem. So you can be right at the end of a race and you get that sort of rubber band effect and get taken out, and it is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, so you probably see now, but so like there, it's so difficult. The game's so realistic in the sense of the actual mechanics, just how the cars feel. They feel really weighted. So if this is like Forza or any other game, it's probably more on sort of the motorsport feel than anything. I do know the devs were sort of behind the WRC games, weren't they? So they've done a lot of the rally games, and that's what this sort of feels like. It feels like that sort of Colin McRae feel, where if you overrun a corner, you pretty much game over. To be fair, the cars feel quite heavy as well, I'd say. Definitely grounded. They feel quite heavy. The steering's heavy. The brakes, you just slide. If you go into a corner, overrun something like that, you have to get the handbrake on, and you just hope you can get round it. But yeah, overall, really enjoying it. It's probably the most challenging racing game I've played in a long time. I usually play more casual games like the Crew. Go. I'm just gonna have to take them out, but then they take you up. Yeah, it's like that. So, but yeah, it's definitely one mistake, and the game is definitely over. So that's us sort of one corner before the finish, and yeah, my bad driving's messed that one up. But yeah, it's definitely challenging though. Definitely challenging. There's quite a lot of races I've had to do. Maybe like 10 times nearly. Actually, it's a little bit embarrassing. So it has taken quite a few goes. So the sensor speed is probably the best I've played. I saw what swayed me to buy the game was I saw one comment on YouTube on the reviews, and it was basically you buy a racing game to experience the racing, and it sort of like twigged a little bit on the sense of the feel. So when you play like your rally games, some of the dirt rally games, you get that sense of you actually in the car a little bit, and you can control it, and you've got the pressure. That's how this feels. It's if you're playing like the Forza games, you can from day one you can just win every race. You can set the difficulties, that sort of stuff. But with this, it is definitely difficult. I'd say I'm not a bad driver. I'm no like far means by any sort of professional racing driver or content creator on any racing game, but I'd say I've had quite a lot of hours on sort of like the Forza games, crew games, and yeah, this is definitely challenging. Like I said, the sense of speed is like no other. You can see the gear pulls, every gear change, the sound so good. And then as I said, like now it comes to life when the night time hits. It's almost as if the game changes. It's a bit like yeah, a bit like the whole everything, the whole textures, everything just changes, and it just looks really good. I have to admit though, the game, for whatever reason, the game seems to be blurry. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's I just need to mess about with the settings or not. But yeah, it's yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Even on ultra settings, the game just seems blurry. I don't know if it just needs a patch or if there's something going on, but you'll see like now if I'm driving down here, there's enough detail, but it's not crisp. I'm not sure what it is. So we're on ultra right now. So if you're on YouTube, you can probably go into your settings. It is only 1440p, but it should be quite crisp. The lighting's good, but it's almost as if it's masking some of the wider textures. But yeah, overall though, as I said, the map is absolutely massive, absolutely huge. The feeling is so good. If you get a drift right, then it does feel good. When you start picking up the speed, it feels like you're going fast. And as I said, you've got all these sort of like these speed, yeah, different sort of speed gates you can get through, different challenges. There's different garages you can get to, and the camera's a little bit like, I'd say it's a little bit like Need for Speed in the sense, I think it was Need for Speed The Run which had that dynamic camera, and it worked quite well actually. So yeah, obviously this is okay. We'll go going this way. Obviously I'm in a Mustang. The top speed, it tops out about 155. I think I've had about 140 out of it, 145. Possibly maybe a bit more, but yeah, you definitely get that sense of speed when you're in the game. So it's you do get a bit of pressure. But yeah, I've been after 2 hours. I've only done 2% of the roads, which is insane, isn't it? So, but as I said, you can do all the settings like you can indicate. So there's quite a few nice features which aren't in other games. Everything does look really good. I think the game, it's definitely worth trying, to be fair. Yeah, so what I've had to do to get the FPS up, so I'm on Ultra at the minute, but what you have to do is go onto the test. I'll try and do it now actually. But if you're having trouble with the VRAM, what you need to do is do a search for test driver. So basically you get your folder up and you'll see the user settings there. And what you then need to do is click on it. I'm sure it's this folder. Open with Notepad and you'll get all this code up. So when you get the code up, what you need to do is Control F and just type FPS in, and then you'll see there max FPS, and you can actually change that. So you could put that to 120 and then your FPS will shoot right up, because what the game's trying to do is it's trying to optimize it 200 frames a second. So yeah, I won't do it now whilst it's loaded, but if you are struggling with the VRAM, yeah, that's what I found. That was the only solution. But yeah, what I've noticed is some areas are really detailed, look really good, and some areas look really blurry, and I'm sort of like rubbing my eyes thinking it's my eyes my eyes going sort of thing. But it's yeah, it's definitely definitely the game. But yeah, as I said, the Mustang, it doesn't feel like, even after 2 hours, I've got quite a lot of money, but it doesn't feel like you can progress that fast with cars. That's the only thing. I'm not sure how long the game is, but it does feel like some of the cars you can't unlock until you're at like level 10, level 12, um, which we might be actually. I'm not sure what level we're actually. Makes it a little bit difficult to find out. And the other thing is you can't actually pause. If you're in a race, you can't just pause the game. So I'm hoping you can... yeah, see, it doesn't see what level. So we're at level 11, so we need to get to level 12 to then do the next missions. But we've got another... I think we've got another 3 or 4 races we can do. So there doesn't seem to be a lot of people online either. So there's one person there. I'm not sure how many the server can support, but there's all... I think you can click onto that one. So there's 4 people. Yeah, so myself and 3 others in the server, and that was the same last night. So it almost feels like the servers are just supporting 4 people, which is a bit strange really, because you go into like Forza and there's probably like 100 people on the server, isn't there? And it's absolutely crazy. But okay, so that's a one way there, isn't it? But yeah, so you can sort of see, God, the washing machine's going off. There's quite a lot of details in a lot of the areas. If we move sort of to this way, trying to think if we can fast travel outside. So that's quite a good feature as well. So you can fast travel inside or outside. So if you wanted to go to a dealership, you can do. You can fast travel into the dealership, or you can just chill and yeah, do it that way. But you can't get out your car apart from when you're sort of inside the buildings. But yeah, so nighttime's definitely where the game comes alive. Definitely, it does reward you. Sort of gives you like a sense of exploration a little bit. So if you find new dealerships, you might get new stickers and decals to put on your car, and there's a few different bits. So I'm not sure what this is. It just interrupts you randomly. So no idea. The story's a little bit non-existent, to be honest. It's not something I'm too interested in. Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm running the 470 Ti, 12 gigabyte VRAM. I'm not sure. I think I actually turned off the DLSS, actually. I've already seen this cutscene once as well, which is crazy, but yeah, I'm not too... Oh my god. The ground. I wanted to go with a short, but I think I quite like the whole JDM sort of feel. I think we'll go that way. I think that's the best one. Yeah, so I think on the settings, let's just have a quick look. I think options... I think I actually turned off VSync. So VSync was giving me a bit of problem with the game. The DLSS was off. So what I found was it tends to... So if I put it onto performance... Has that done it? I never know if it's changed it. Yeah, so if I put it onto performance, it makes the game... I don't know if it makes it blurry. I can't tell. Just things... Yeah, it just looks blurry. I'm not sure what it is. For some reason, my computer seems to struggle with some of the DLSS stuff, so just keep it off. Frame generation is on, actually. Maybe that's what's helping. So yeah, you can see there, I've turned frame generation off, and I'm getting 50. My god, 50 frames on Ultra, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, so actually, if I just quit that, it's my fault for keeping hold of A. So yeah, it just shows you how good the NVIDIA frame generation is. So I'm getting 54 frames, which is absolutely fine. The stream usually runs at 60 anyway. But yeah, so if I go on to... So if you look at the top right, you can see the frames drop right down there. This is on Ultra as well. So if we go on to options, go on to... Let's have a look here. Go on to frame generation there. Then look at that, 112.90. So yeah, it's picked back up. So I'm sort of getting an extra 40 frames nearly with the frame generation. So basically what the frame generation does on the game is, so when you can see into sort of the distance, it's, instead of being sort of built onto the GPU, it's basically just mapping it's randomly generating to sort of build the environment. So it basically builds it in game opposed to live on the card. So it's almost probably blurry. You can see probably the lights moving in the background a bit. It sort of generates sort of like a false. It's a bit of a green screen basically, and it just helps. So I'm getting another 40. So yeah, but I think the game at the minute's just poorly optimized. So I think no matter what graphics card you have, you're going to struggle. You could probably have a 4090 and be struggling with it, which I can't afford at the minute. So I don't think I'd have to get a new power supply for that as well, and another monitor, and yeah, so it's a big investment. So I've been happy with the 4070. It's been a great card for the streams. Everything's been really good, but yeah, it probably just comes with a little bit of, you do get that a bit of blur with stuff slightly. So, but yeah, overall really happy with the game. Yeah, I'm really struggling with the DLSS. It's been the same with quite a few games actually. Call of Duty, when I had the DLSS on, it absolutely blew the. It was so laggy, the game. So I think there's definitely something. Whether it's just this card doing it or not, I don't know. So I just tend to have it off. But overall, really, I am actually happy with the game. I paid a bit more than I wanted to. As I said on my own channel, I actually posted up a link literally a few days ago, and the game was £22. Posted that up, clicked my own link to have a look, and it had gone up to 34. I was so gutted. So yeah, so I had to pay full price for it, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's, yeah, usually on CD keys, if you get the game on launch pre-order, you get it, usually get quite a lot off, to be fair. British Performance, that's another one. So yes, that's another one there. So let's have a look. But yeah, overall, as I said, I'm quite happy with the game. It feels a lot better. It's a change, I'd say. I think if I was to buy, it was either this or the Crew Motorfest. And I was thinking if I got the Crew Motorfest, it's pretty much the same vibe as sort of Forza is in 5. It's a very similar map, isn't it, with Mexico versus Hawaii. Very similar. The cars look very similar. The handling, obviously, in the Crew you do get bikes, planes, all that sort of stuff, which is appealing. But this game, what sold it to me was just the Hong Kong vibe. I was trying to think, is it sort of the do you get sort of that Tokyo Drift sort of vibe to it or not? But yeah, we'll try and get some speed up now, and then I will end the stream in a minute. But it was just a quick overview, really. The game is definitely challenging. If you want a challenging racing game, I'd definitely recommend it. As I said on the stream last night, it was probably a good 2 hours, and there's quite a few games I'd actually had to reset. So yeah, there's quite a few I'd got to that last bend and got side swiped or taken out or just missed the corner. It takes quite a few goes to actually get used to the tracks and sort of the braking points. Because if you brake too early, the AI just absolutely destroys you. But if you brake too late, then you just end up sliding off a little bit. So we'll try and max this out a little bit. I don't think no, we can't do it. We've lost all the points there as well, but I'm not sure what this is. But yeah, so I've not got any Range Rovers, anything too fancy yet. Okay, so that's a meeting point there we found. But you can build, similar to a lot of games, like you can build up sort of your not sure if we can do a burnout. Don't know if we can do it in this car. Not really. But yeah, I've not been off-road yet either, so I'm not 100% sure what the mud's like and the terrain's like, etc. But yeah, overall the map's really good. As I said, we've literally just explored sort of this area here, which I presume is probably the main area in the game, isn't it? For sort of the towns, this is probably more sort of the off-road. So I could be wrong. I don't know Hong Kong, but I could be wrong. But this could be more forest areas, and this is all the town, isn't it? So there's definitely quite a lot to explore. But as I said, it just seems to be a little bit few optimization problems. The other bit is you can't pause races either, so not the end of the world, but say if you're in a race and you wanted to pause it, you wanted a drink, or Amazon came or something, you can't. You'd have to abandon the race and restart the race. But the races aren't that long, really. They're usually circuit races or sprints, really, at the minute. So, and it normally shows you the sort of the layout as well. So if you hover over, it'll show you sort of the course where it is, and gives you a bit of an idea. And then these are all the other areas. What would be nice is if it had like more of a Google Earth sort of view, so you could see the city. At the minute, all you can see is the top down, a bit like the Crew. But I think the Crew actually had the world in it, didn't it? So you could actually zoom into the area before you fast travelled. So yeah, pros and cons with it all. Obviously, once you've been to locations, you can then fast travel and move around the map pretty quick. So, but yeah, overall happy with it. It's been a good game actually. So I'll end the stream in the minute at the minute. But yeah, if anyone's got any problems with the graphics, then just do that little hack. So basically just drop it from 200, maybe put like 120 in, or 140, and the game should then give you some better FPS. Obviously if you put the frame generation in, it's definitely gonna help with some of that. So but yeah, you can see this here as well, the lights, everything just looks so good. There is a lot of detail to the map. There's just not a lot of people, so like now you'd expect there to be people about and walking around, but there just isn't at the minute. But I'm hoping they can patch that. But yeah, the roads look really good, really good. It does give you a good vibe really. And it's as I said, I've not had the music on yet, just with the copyright. I know if I put the music on, then I'll end up getting some copyright issues, and quite a few games like that, isn't there? So but yeah, overall guys, really happy with it. It was just a bit of a last minute purchase. I've not really, with any games, I don't really watch the reviews. A bit like Star Wars, I actually really enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws, but the reviews were really bad. So I think the best thing you can do is just try them for yourself. I think when you buy a game as well, when it's your own money, you sort of appreciate the games a bit more, and you can sort of look at the positives a bit more. Unless you just feel like you've been ripped off and yeah, you've wasted your money. But I think with this game, it's definitely going to get the support. I think there's already a patch coming out for it, so they'll definitely get the support anyway. Sorry, I'm not showing the driving off too well on this stream, but it was just more of a quick sort of drive round. But there's definitely enough going on. Definitely enough races, but I'm not sure how long the campaign is. I'd probably say it's probably like 15 to 20 hours, isn't it, if you just power through it? But I could be wrong. But it depends what DLC is coming out. It'd be good if there was free content. I think it would be good. I'm not sure. I know there are gold editions, aren't there? But I just got the basic one. So I don't think I'd buy. I think the standard's definitely enough just for now, just to see if you enjoy the game or not. But we'll try and do a drift, and then I will end the stream in a minute, but keep going this way. But I definitely prefer the built-up areas. Definitely prefer the built-up areas, a bit like on Horizon 4 when you're in Edinburgh. That was good. I just struggled with Mexico. I think there's just I don't know if it's just sort of the open. It's too open. I don't know. But you can sort of get a little bit of a drift there, and you can change your colours as well. So I think I've changed. I'm not even sure how you change your colours. I think you can actually go to petrol stations, but I could be wrong. I think that was something they were supposed to be adding, if they've added it yet or not. Basically, what they were saying is, yeah, you can change your vehicle. Yeah, you can. They've added it, but I don't know if you can change the colours here or not. So I'd have to actually have a look. I don't know if you can open doors or not. But I've gone for sort of the carbon. Yeah, sort of the carbon look there, but I don't think you can. Yeah, so it's only, you can't change the cosmetics then. So you'd actually have to go to the garage, which is a bit frustrating actually, isn't it? So you'd have to actually go. Do you go there? We'll have a look quick. But I thought they were adding it in, to be fair, so you could actually change everything, but Fast travel outside. Change vehicle. No, it's not letting me do it, is it? So I think what we'll have to do is enter and then change the car that way. What a faff. What an absolute faff. And these bits are just frustrating as well. So I'm not sure how you might just be me doing something wrong, but I'm not sure how you change. Do you have to go to the desk? So there's someone there just chilling. Yeah, there's not much going on, is there? But you can, one good thing is you can actually, when you go to the dealerships, you can actually test drive a lot of the cars as well, which is good. So I'm not sure if that's the stats. Possibly there's something going on. But yeah, we'll go outside anyway. But I think you must have to go to the dealerships to. So if we went to this one here, for example, inside, you can then test drive other cars as well. But yeah, so for example, if I went up to this car here, went onto there, you can test drive it that way, which is cool. So it just gives you, if you can't be bothered leveling up, I think it gives you about 2 minutes or something like that, 2.5 minutes to test the car. Yeah, 2 minutes. But yeah, so it just gives you a bit of an idea. And we'll try not to crash it. Turn the indicators off. You can open the windows as well, but yeah, so it just gives you a bit of an idea. I'll try not to crash it. But yeah, hopefully it just gives you a bit of that sense of speed. A little bit. Obviously this is a lot quicker. Not sure if we can get 200 down here. Should we try it? Without crashing. Definitely quicker than the Mustang anyway. It's the only thing when you try these cars, especially like the Lamborghini, and then you have to pick a car and you get thrown with I think it's like 370Z Mustang, or I think, not sure what the third car is. I think we've gone the wrong way. Yeah, don't think we got 200 there, did we? What is quite good with the game is though, when you hit barriers, there's definitely a sense of. So if I was to go through this, see how slow it actually really slows you down. So if you're in a race, just say if you hit a tree like that, you can see how slow you go then. So it does really, really slow you down. So if we were going around this corner and went into these, it does. Yeah, I've done it quite a few times where I've been sort of in the race. You go around the corner, hit sort of the railings, and then you get overtaken. So I'm not sure if McLarens can drift. Possibly. I'm sure they can. But you can see all the reflections. Everything looks really, really good actually. I don't think we can get 200 down here. I'm not sure if it even goes 200 miles an hour. I'm sure it probably does, doesn't it? But a little bit twitchy. Okay, that's it. 2 minutes are up with that one. So, but yes, I'll end the stream here, guys. But it was just a quick video just on the first impression. So after 2 hours, I'd say it's more pros and cons. I think from a fundamental racing game perspective, it's definitely a good game. The feel's really good. The cars handle really well. The graphics are mixed. Some areas look fantastic, and some areas look a little bit blurry and just a bit like Flight Simulator. There's areas where they use sort of like the GPS, and I think they use sort of like not the Google Maps. They use a similar software, don't they, to update it. So they do like London. A lot of the cities are a lot more detailed, and that seems to be the case here, where the cities are quite detailed, and then you move outwards and there's a little bit blurry and a few things loading up and a few little issues. But yeah, overall it's a good game. The AI are a little bit unpredictable, but it's a hard game. It is a hard game, and as I said, it's taken me quite a few goes on some of the races. You get to the last corner, and it's also good once you've done a race going back to do it again, because you get to know the track and you do learn some of the areas a lot better as well. So yeah, so I'll go now, guys. But yeah, if you've got any issues with it, as I said, if you're struggling with with the whole graphics, then just try that out. All you have to do is open that with Notepad, do a search for FPS, and then you can just drop that down, and then it should help you with your graphics. And that was the only fix I can find at the minute. So but yeah, thanks for joining everyone. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'll do some more gameplay. This was more of a first impression, so I've not done any. I don't think we've done any races apart from the one I came probably 5th in or last in. So but yeah, definitely worth it if anyone's interested. It's just different to Forza or The Crew. I think it's a bit more of a realistic racing sim opposed to more of an arcade style game. So it's definitely more challenging. The cars have got good feel. You can tell when you're getting into different cars, and the sound is really good as well. The detail is really, really good. But obviously there's a few issues with sort of the AI being a bit unpredictable, the game loading, which I've not really struggled with, but yeah, there's a few bits where other cars will load in, and as I said, you can't pause the game either. So there's a few little hiccups with it. I've not had any in the sort of 2.5 hours I was playing. I didn't have a single disconnect from the server whatsoever. I've had no internet issues. I've had nothing like that. So yeah, it's the servers are absolutely stable on my end, which is good. So but yeah, I'm just hoping they'll patch it, maybe do some more optimization for it, which I think they are. Maybe just improve areas, as in just get the textures up and do some texture packs for it. That might be good as well. But yeah, overall, if you're looking for like a Tokyo Drift sort of Fast and Furious style, then it's, yeah, definitely worth the investment, I think. But check out CD Keys. That's where I get all my games from. That's where I got all my games from, and it just seems to be cheaper than Steam or Xbox or PlayStation marketplaces. So yeah, but it's still, as I said, still a little bit pricey at the minute, but hopefully they can sort it out. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all shortly. But any questions, just ask, whether it's about the game, hardware setups, that sort of stuff, just ask. So yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you all shortly.